Okay. So, this is a new topic. Okay, and the title is Intercultural Communication and Professional Etiquette. Can someone here explain what is the meaning of intercultural?
Worldwide culture.
Worldwide culture. Okay, anybody else?
Multiple cultures.
Multiple cultures. Okay, okay. Anything else?
Between cultures, in between cultures.
Between cultures, in between different cultures. Okay, all right. So if interpersonal means between two individuals, okay, intercultural communication meaning that you are having a communication between cultures, different cultures, okay. And we are going to also talk about professional etiquette related to intercultural communication. Are we ready?
Yes, madam.
All right. So we're going to explore the importance of intercultural communication and professional etiquette in a workplace setting. Okay, right. So we are going to first look at the definition, okay? And then we're going to look at the importance of intercultural communication. And then we're going to look at culture and workplace. Okay? All right, now look at this question. Which one do you think is the answer? What is intercultural communication? Which one is the answer? A, B, C, or D? Which one?
I think it's C.
C, okay. Any other answers?
C.
C, okay, C. Everyone agree the answer is C?
The most suitable answer is C, in my opinion.
Okay, most suitable answer is C. All right, let's check. C, okay, the ability to communicate and understand people with different cultures and background. Okay, okay, good. So the answer is C. All right. A is not so much of the answer. An exchange of information between people who speak different languages or live in different countries. It is actually more than just that, more than just about speaking. How people interact in social and professional settings using polite language and good manner. It is definitely more than just that. Or even D, understanding other opinions and sharing ideas respectfully to avoid conflict. Okay, basically this is if you put the 3 points together, C is the best answer that summarize what is the meaning of intercultural communication. Okay, so basically it is the ability to communicate and understand people with different cultures and also different backgrounds. The differences can be observed in the facial expression. We're talking about facial expressions, customs, okay. Customs are related to what we believe in, what we do based on culture, okay. Touch, maybe the tone, and also the way we think, our thought patterns, right? Okay, for example, when we talk about people from different locations. Okay. Let's talk about handshakes. Okay. People in the Western countries, okay, they are very familiar with handshaking, regardless of gender, correct? Regardless of ages. Okay. To them, when you meet someone, okay, a stranger, you need to shake hand. Okay, right? Now, what is the difference here in Malaysia? Do we do handshaking a lot in Malaysia?
Same race maybe.
For similar races or similar gender, right, Ikrak? Okay, for similar gender, yes. But for different genders may not be that much of a culture in our country, especially when you are Muslims, right? Okay, for Muslims, especially those of different genders, you don't really shake hands with one another. Okay, but with similar gender, okay, you usually do that. Okay, for example, lady and lady, or boys, okay, gentleman and another gentleman. Okay, in France, okay, in France, you know France? Where is France?
Europe.
Europe. Okay. In France, when they meet a stranger, they will do, French kiss. Okay. One. Okay. Kisses. Okay. One. Okay. Mwah, mwah, mwah. 5 times. Okay. It's called bisous. Okay. In Japan, when they greet strangers, they will have a bow. Bowing. Okay. Bowing. In Arab, okay, for Arabic, in Arabic culture, okay, uh, we usually they don't ask about someone's wife or someone's sisters, or nieces, anything related to the other gender, because it is considered rude. In Malaysia, how do we greet strangers? What questions do we usually ask? When you greet a stranger, when you meet a stranger, what question you will usually ask? Just to open a discussion or open up a conversation.
Surrounding maybe.
What do you ask, Rup? Give an example, Ikra.
Uh, Great weather today, is it?
Great weather today. Oh, the weather is nice today. Okay, what else do you usually ask?
How are you?
How are you? Okay, okay. Anything else? What else do we ask?
Have you eaten?
Come again, Hilda?
Have you eaten?
Come again?
Have you eaten?
Have you eaten? Yes. Have you eaten? Have you taken your breakfast today? Okay, anything else? Do we
Greeting.
greetings? Okay, assalamualaikum. Okay, good morning. That kind of greeting. But the most popular question is the one that Filda mentioned just now. Okay, have you eaten? Have you taken your breakfast? What did you eat just now? Okay, those are opening questions to a conversation. Agree? You guys agree? You usually ask those questions when you meet a stranger or new friends, maybe when you make a new friend. Do you ask those questions?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Why no? Why no?
maybe the setting or the time.
The setting of time is not appropriate for you to ask those questions. Okay. But if you are trying to develop a new relationship, that might be a good time to for you to actually ask those questions. But if you are in a restaurant or at the cashier, okay, all right, or with the waiter and whatnot, those questions are not considered as normal questions. You might be seen as what's wrong with this person. Okay, all right. Next. Right, now look at this question here. What other cultures do you know are different from your own? Anyone want to share? What other cultures do you know are different from your own? Can you think of any cultural practices, gestures, or communication styles that are different from what you are familiar with? And then share an example of how people from different cultures greet, express emotions, or interact professionally. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. All right. And then when we come back, I want you guys to share with me the answer for these 3 questions. Will that be okay?
Yes.
Okay. Let's take a 5 minutes break. Okay. What other cultures do you know are different from your own? Anyone want to share the answer? Or share your experience, your understanding?
Uh, in Japan or Korea, they
Mm-mm.
tend to bow to show respect when greeting.
Okay. For example?
For example, you are meeting your teacher
Mm-mm.
and you bow first at every class.
Oh, okay. All right. How is it different from our culture in Malaysia, maybe?
In Malaysia, we usually, if the teacher is Muslim, we say Assalamualaikum. Or
Mm,
if the teacher is non-Muslim, we say good morning
mm.
instead of bowing.
Okay, good. Very good. Thank you, Alia. Anybody else? What other cultures do you know are different from your own? When we talk about culture, it can be about anything, about the food, about the practices, about what we believe in. It can be based on a lot of things. Cultures, right? Alia, Alia was talking about how we greeted our teacher or the elderly in Malaysia. In Malaysia versus Japan and Korea, they bow to the elderly or the teacher, but in Malaysia we are used to Assalamualaikum, and maybe in some cases, when we do that, we also do it with the salam, okay, all right, and so on and so forth. All right, anything else want to share? The difference. Come on, everyone.
Miss,
Mm-mm,
before entering the house, I can
mm-mm,
see. For example, in Malaysia, I think it's not just Malaysia. In many Asian countries,
mm-mm.
uh, people usually take off their shoes before entering
Correct.
the house.
Yes,
While
correct.
in Western or European cultures, it's much
Mm-mm.
more common to keep them on indoors.
Very good. That's good. The difference in terms of how we enter a place, especially a house. We do have a no shoes policy, right? Again, no shoes policy. regardless of whether you're a Malay, Indian, we have that as we call it as our Malaysian culture. Okay, but the Westerners usually having this shoes in policy. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Anything else? Anybody else want to share?
Can it be about food, right?
Uh-huh.
Usually Easterner, we eat using hand. It's
Mm-hmm.
normal,
Mm-mm.
but the Westerner, if I find it disgusting for them.
Ah, okay. Yes, good. True. I'm not sure whether you have watched a movie. I think there is a movie in a Hindustan movie where the mother, the kids of a mother taken from the from her because she, yeah, we usually give food to kids with hands, right, in our culture. But the kids were taken from her just because of that action. It was considered as unhygienic or something like that. But the cultures are different. Our Asian cultures, we eat with our hands. The Western cultures, they eat with knife, fork, and spoon. Okay, all right. Okay, good. Ikra, good. Okay, anything else? Anything that is different? Maybe a lot of things that you can think about. The difference between us and the other cultures. What else? Come on. You're better than this. Come on, everyone.
Um, like in Western country like America, something young people they call elderly by their first name, which
Good. Okay.
is considered like normal.
Very good. Very good observation, Zilta. Okay. In the Western cultures, okay, it is okay for them there to just call their father, the mother, the grandmother in the first name, using the first name, Derek, John, and whatnot. But if we do that in our culture, it might be considered as rude, okay, because we usually address our parents with endearment, okay, mom, dad, mommy, daddy, okay, abba, ayah, things like that. Okay, good. Very good. Anything else? Come on, one more. One more for the first question. What other cultures do you know are different from your own? One more example.
In terms of hygiene, I can say that the Western doesn't have a bidet on their toilet.
Yeah. Be there forever.
Yeah.
B-Day supremacy. Okay. All right. Yeah. I think that is another thing that is different from our culture. I think most Malaysians lah. Okay, most Malaysians are used to B-Day. Okay, we are very used to B-Day. And sometimes I myself, when I went for traveling, the first thing I will look at is in the toilet. Other than the cleanliness of the toilet itself, I will see as to whether the bidet is available or not. Okay, so that's why uh, I have a travel bidet for this. Okay, because well, our culture, bidet is life. Okay, right. Thank you for the first question. Dad. Now let's look at the second question. Can you think of any cultural practices, gestures, or communication styles that differ from what you are familiar with? I think for this one, mm, let's talk about communication style. Focus more on cultural practices, gestures, okay, or communication styles that might be a bit different from what you are familiar with. Anyone maybe can share about this? I think they are all. I think question number one, number two, and number three are almost the same. Okay, if we look at this collectively, um, maybe when we talk about gestures, okay, gestures, mm, like you mentioned just now, bowing. That is a gesture actually. And then in terms of communication style, the way we address a person, that is also considered as communication style. And then how we greeting just now, or addressing a person. Okay, how we express emotion now. How about expressing emotion? How are we different from those maybe in other cultures in terms of expressing emotions? Anyone want to share?
Um, I would like to share something.
Mm. Mm-mm.
In terms of expressing, right? In terms of expressing the emotions, or in regards to expressions, right? We don't have to
Mm-mm.
travel far. I think we can really just look into the people of Borneo and the Peninsula of
Mm.
Malaysia. So since I grew up in Borneo, right, we tend
Mm-mm.
to be overly emotional in a sense. We overshare everything, which
Okay.
in a way it is not to say something that's not correct or not good, but I think we are our
Mm-mm.
people are like that. Sabahans or the Sarawakians are like that
Mhm.
because we feel like everyone's family,
Mhm.
so everyone are able to,
Mm.
we can share everything to anyone,
Mm.
I would say. And then in Peninsular
Mhm.
Malaysia, otherwise they are very to themselves.
Okay. I I do understand that because I've been studying in Sarawak before. So, in terms of expressing emotions, we do very much express our emotions with the facial expression, with the gestures and whatnot, especially when we meet uh, our dearest friends or maybe our family. We do that, and sometimes even with strangers too. I do experience with that. Okay, in terms in like in uh peninsula, maybe we are a bit more reserved. Okay, we tend to express emotion to the person we are familiar with instead of sharing it with someone unfamiliar or a stranger. Okay, and even for different countries, I mean for different states, sometimes we do have different ways to express emotion. Okay, people in Malacca, for example, is different from people in Johor or Terengganu. Okay, on how they express the emotions. Okay, all right. uh, or when we talk about interacting professionally, in a way, okay, our background, where we are coming from, will also affect how we um, interact or communicate professionally. Okay, I think we all agree to that because our background is different. Okay, and even when uh, when you are married, definitely when you are married, especially from different cultures or even from different states, sometimes okay, the merge of cultures will be happening. Okay, and sometimes there will be clashes. Okay, but how are we going to deal with that? Okay, is important, not only in relationship, okay, normal human relationship, but also professionally. How are we going to deal with that? Okay, good sharing, everyone. Okay, right. Now let's talk about how to understand culture. Okay. When we look at culture, it is not just simply looking at the different ideas or beliefs, value, knowledge, language, way of life. It is actually more than just that. It can include from it can include a lot of things, covering the food, the celebration, the type of music, the rituals, okay, the language, of course, the laws, the customs, what we are used in our daily life, okay, what we are used to do in our daily life. All those are the factors that can actually affect the way we understand cultures, okay, our own cultures and other people's culture, okay, and learning culture is essential because we are going to meet with people, and different people will bring in a setting their own culture and their own belief, their own understanding about things, which this is actually a learning process. Okay, and based on experience, it is not a something that we can teach about. Okay, a teacher cannot teach about cultural learning, something like that. No, you need to live it through experience in order for you to understand or to develop the identity or the understanding of culture, which I believe, okay, which I believe, as you go along interacting with people from different places, it will help you to learn more about cultures. Okay, I know in this class we have um, those coming from different locations, from the peninsula, from the Borneo, Sabah, Sarawak, from different states, and even some of you are from different countries, Somalia, okay, Iran, okay, Indonesia, okay. So you bring your culture into the setting, okay. In our case, the setting is a class, and from there you try to understand how different cultures work. And when we talk about understanding, we need to, in a way, uh, try to empathize, okay, try to, you know, learn, try to, in a way, be more accepting of others, okay, more accepting. We cannot just say, oh, this is wrong, that what you are doing is wrong, or what you are doing is not the right way to do in this place. No, there is no such thing as that. Okay, right? Okay, the impact of culture on decision making. Yeah, definitely when we look at this, it will actually affect in terms of decision making. Cultures can affect decision making in what way? Okay, as I said just now, sometimes from the background we are in, what we are doing is right. But in other cultures, it may be disrespectful or wrong. For example, like what you said just now, in our culture, taking off shoes when you go home or when you enter your house or a building is considered respectful. That is the right way. But when you see someone entering a room without shoes taken off, you might think, oh, that is considered very rude and disrespectful. So you start, have an argument or whatnot. In a way, it will impact how we believe what is respectful and what is not respectful. And when we are talking about decision making, sometimes cultures, okay, can actually affect how we make a decision. So you need to know where to be in the middle. Okay, where to be? It should be in the middle. Okay, not towards the other side or not towards to the other side. Okay, in the middle. All right. Okay. Code of behavior. Okay, cultural norms guide our behavior on how we eat, how we interact, how we perceive the world around us. Eating habits, like what we have discussed just now, the way we eat. Asians are accustomed to eat with our hands, or in some cultures we use chopsticks. We are used to those. But when we go to a Western country, it may not be considered as civilized. Okay? And maybe certain colors, for example, can be considered as something disrespectful. Okay? Or wearing certain clothing can be considered as rude or not right in terms of religions. Okay? So code of behavior, right? It will guide, in a way, how we do things, especially in our daily life. Okay. Cultural perspective on new experience. Okay. Subconsciously, okay, we believe that as we believe what we are doing now is the correct way, we might see other culture as something which is wrong, when in reality, it is not. It is right in their culture, might be wrong in our culture. But what is wrong in our culture might be right. What is right in our culture might be wrong in their culture. Another experience, when I went to Korea, um, people, get drunk even during the day, which is something that we will not be able to see in our country. But in Korea, it was a new experience to me, in which people of all ages, old, women, young, whatever, they get drunk even during the we during the daylight. They were like drunk. So I was like, oh, I was shocked actually at that time. But after a while, I get used to it, because I know, because I gone through a bad experience about the drunk people there. So kind of something from I learned something from that. So I try to understand, okay, the culture, and it gives me a new experience to understand their culture. Okay, are we clear about that? Any questions?
No.
Okay, so sometimes we cannot perceive things as right only, or what we do are right, what they are doing are wrong. There's no such thing as that. We need to be able to understand, give and take when we talk about cultures. Okay, all right. So why it is important for us to have the skill in intercultural communication. Number one, it will be very helpful for enhanced collaboration. Okay, when we understand, when we are respecting others, okay, uh, the professionals, okay, when we are in the workplace, it helps us to work more effectively to achieve what we are supposed to achieve. Okay, for example, when you're working in a multinational company, a Japanese company, for example, Sharp, okay, or Mitsubishi or whatnot, the culture, the background culture is a Japanese culture where the culture respects time. So you cannot apply your Malaysian culture into that professional setting, because the background culture is a Japanese, background. So you need to apply a Japanese nature of working, okay, as to increase collaboration, increase the effectiveness of you working together. Okay, cultural sensitivity. What does it mean here? Professional learn to recognize, appreciate cultural difference to avoid misunderstanding and also conflicts. Be sensitive with culture. Okay, don't try to do what we call it cultural appropriation. Okay, be sensitive with cultures. Okay, be sensitive of what can be worn, what cannot be worn. Okay, what can be eaten, what cannot be eaten. For example, right, for Muslims, we are very sensitive about halal and also pork. For example, eating pork, non-halal thing, haram things. So be we need to be able to be professional and be sensitive enough about that. And maybe when we prepare food, for example, in the pantry, in the office, we need to see whether it is sensitive enough culturally, in that case. Okay, global business competence. Those who can navigate cultural difference confidently are better equipped to engage with clients, partners, stakeholders from diverse cultural background, especially when we are dealing with international clients, for example, or international businesses. It is very important to understand um, the cultural background of your partners, for example, okay, stakeholders or your clients, okay. For example, if you are working with Germany, okay, how they work, okay, how they deal with customers, you need to learn about that. Okay, try to, you know, put in the culture so that you can work globally competently. Okay, or maybe, for example, their working hours. Okay, their working hours, you need to respect their working hours. For example, our hemisphere and their hemisphere, working hemisphere timeline is a bit different. So you cannot email them during the night time and expect them to reply at the same time. So that is global business competence. Okay, inclusive work environment. Okay, in which when we talk about inclusive, meaning that you make sure that everyone feel that they are involved. Okay, they are involved, they feel respected, they feel valued. Okay, they feel accepted. Okay, for example, okay, like you guys in the class from different background, from different races, so we try to make sure that everything works in terms of culture. Okay, right? For example, for the Muslims, if you work in a group where you have more non-Muslim in the group, so they can understand when you need to go out and, you know, do your prayers and whatnot. Okay, they can help you feel respected in that way. Okay, are we clear?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Effective problem solving. If the more understanding you are with different culture, it will be very helpful to solve different problems. Okay, approaching the issue based on their cultural background. For example, when you want to prepare food to your client, okay, your client is in Japan, you cannot just prepare food like, for example, they are from Japan, they are not familiar to spicy food, but then you bring in spicy food to them and causing more problem. So it's not effective problem solving. So you try to accommodate to that. Okay, effectively solve the problem so that you can, you know, okay, go through the business in an effective way. Okay, building trust and relationship. Okay, it will strengthen the relationship among you, your colleagues, your clients, your staff members, your boss, your supervisors, and whatnot. Okay, it helps. For example, when you look at the TikTok, Christy Ng's TikTok, you can see people from different backgrounds able to build trust and relationship among them, making the environment in the company very positive, very respectful, and a kind of, when you are working in a in an environment like this, like that, right? You will feel safe. Okay, and in a way, you can perform better. Okay, right? And last but not least, here promoting cultural exchange. Okay, all right, maybe during, like, during the Deepavali, Chinese New Year, and whatnot, even in certain schools or organizations, sometimes during celebration, they will bring in food, okay, to exchange or promote culture. Okay, for example, the Malay will bring lontong, the Chinese bring in bakchang, the halal bakchang. Okay, the India will bring in mutton curry. Okay, and then you share, you promote cultural exchange, you exchange what we call it, the recipe and whatnot. Okay, it is enriching in a way. Okay, right? Any questions up until here?
No, madam.
Okay. Okay, good. Right. Cultural differences in workplace. Okay. Um, undeniably, okay, when we talk about different cultures in the workplace, it will cause lot of confusions, lots of conflicts. Language barriers can actually cause a difficulty in communication, and it may also lead to misunderstanding, miscommunication. Different customs, different traditions can also lead to confusion. Values, belief can lead to stress, disagreement, different ways of doing things. For example, the way we eat and the Westerners eat can actually lead to frustration, inefficiencies, okay? Different styles in dressing, even dressing. Some people love cosplaying, some people don't, okay? Some people wear professionally, all money, some people wear in a gothic way, okay, can be off-putting or distracting. So all of this need to be, in a way, we try to neutralize this so that everyone can feel safe in the workplace and can learn from each other, or even though the cultural backgrounds are different. Okay, right. How to embrace culture difference at work. Okay, adapt communication style as needed. Okay, I think for Malaysian, we are familiar with different races. So we are familiar in adapting different communication style, different languages sometimes. We have Rojak language, right? Rojak, bahasa Rojak, right? A person like us, Malaysian, a typical Malaysian, can actually speak in a sentence in different languages. For example, uncle tapau nasi goreng dengan ni, okay, cepat uncle tapau tahu. Kind of like that. Okay, so we adapt to that very fast. Okay, because we are used to multicultural background. Okay, other countries may not be too familiar with this, but we are easily adaptable. I think that is one of the strength of being a Malaysian. Okay, learn about other people's background. Okay, so learn, especially when your company is uh, a multinational company from different countries. Okay, so you learn their work ethic and whatnot. It is good to actually learn. Host diversity training. Yes. Okay. Certain offices or companies, especially multinational companies, they will do they will actually have diversity training and acknowledge holidays and celebration. I think this is what we are doing in Malaysia. Okay, like what happened during Deepavali. the non, those who are not celebrating Deepavali enjoy the holidays more than those celebrating it. On the road now, Malay, Chinese, and whatnot celebrating Deepavali. Okay, right? Something I think uh, it should be okay for us. We are used to that. Okay, hopefully it will continue uh, for a very long time. Okay, intercultural communication checklist. Make sure you have some knowledge of the culture, the history, and the way of living. Understand the communication style of different countries. Learn the gender and social dynamics, especially about gender, different genders, especially. Okay, be aware of your cultural values and belief, and be as flexible, adaptable as possible, aware of any cultural stereotypes. Cultural stereotypes. This is actually a danger. We do have certain stereotype. For example, Malay is like this, Chinese is like this, Indian is like this. We do have that, but don't let those stereotypes uh, set the way we think and set the way we communicate with others. Okay, right. How to overcome intercultural barriers. These are some of the ways you can overcome cultural barriers. Apply active listening, okay? Especially when you listen to others when they are talking about their holidays, maybe their belief and whatnot. Try to listen well, and if you don't understand, ask question. We use the clarification technique. Okay, you ask question. Oh, so during holiday you will do this, something like that. Okay, so as to improve your understanding, be sensitive to different cultures, be open-minded, do not jam your brain. My culture is the best, things like that. Okay, be open-minded. That's how to be open-minded. As I said, go travel, don't stuck at the same place. If you are in from Johor, you stay in Johor forever. Okay, go out, travel. Okay, avoid stereotype, avoid ethnocentrism. Okay, this one meaning that you you stick to the based on your ethnocentrism. Okay, and when you do that, that is when you start not going to become an open-minded person. Adapt communication styles for success. Okay, communication styles. Okay, conflict, uh, resolve, resolution, active listening, asking questions. All those are communication styles. Okay. Right. Now let's talk about professional etiquette. Okay, this is basically an unwritten code of conduct that guide us to communicate in workplace, to build a positive environment. Okay, sometimes it is good to apply um, different style of communication to ensure that the environment in the workplace is safe to everyone. Okay, and sometimes, for example, when we talk about human, we are talking about first impression. When we talk about first impression, you need to ensure that you have a positive first impression to set that image that you are a professional. For example, when you go to the office, you will wear office attire. Outside, you can wear casual attire. Okay, so that people can differentiate you as a professional and you as an individual. Okay? Professional etiquette applies to various aspects of work, including emails, phone calls, and also business meeting. Definitely. Okay? Professional etiquette, communication, make good first impression, avoid gossip. Yeah, this one. Okay, right. Make a good first impression. I think you guys know what to wear, what not to wear, how to sit, how not to sit, how to talk to others, eye contact, how to listen to others. You have that, you are good to go. Avoid gossip. Yeah, I know gossip is good. Okay, you want to know the tea. Okay, you always want to know the tea, but avoid gossiping in the office. Okay, if you want to gossip outside of the office hours. Okay, communication is the key. So basically, you can communicate orally, or you can communicate non-verbally, or you can communicate in written form. Okay, whatever it is, if you have a misunderstanding, always go and communicate. Okay, address that as soon as possible as to avoid conflict in the future. Okay, understand your work environment. Okay, what is okay, what is not okay, so that you can be seen as professionals, not as someone unprofessional. Okay, someone who is not serious and whatnot. Be personable yet professional. Okay, personal tasks outside of the working hour. Okay, professional tasks should come first during the office hour. Okay. All right, so the key elements of professional cultural etiquette. Okay, dress code, wear appropriately. Punctuality, this one, punctual. Communication, how to communicate with people, especially in workplace, more on email, more on phone. Online professionalism, okay, right now people are more on social media, so make sure that you apply professional social media etiquette. Okay, especially if we are involved, if it involves your company social media site. Okay. Cross-cultural awareness and sensitivity. You need to be respectful to different cultures. You need then followed by conflict resolution, how to solve disagreement, misunderstanding in a professional manner, teamwork and collaboration. Okay, regardless of the background you have as a team, you need to make sure that you can work it out. Okay, and in a professional setting, you always need to build a network, build rapport with people. When you're attending events, maybe when meeting with clients and whatnot, try your best to build positive relationship. Okay, that is networking. Okay, right. So I'm going to show you videos. Okay, ready? You guys ready?
Ready, Miss?
All right.
My name is Tim Sharp, and since I
come say, brother, come.
and since I arrived in Malaysia, I've been called all sorts of names.
Macam.
Oh, no, it's Tim. Hi, Subang?
Ya bang,
Oh, no, Subang.
boleh bang?
Oh, no, Subang.
Ya bang.
大哥，乾水。
What did he say?
Brother, boiling water.
What's matcha?
Brother-in-law.
Bang?
Elder brother.
So you call strangers family?
Yes. If not, we all be strangers.
So I've started some name calling of my own. Ane, roti telur.
Nah, என்ன நான் சொல்றேன் mas?
Makcik, berapa ringgit?
RM2 sayang.
It's okay. They don't mind. Auntie, uncle, Josan,
嗰個後生叫我 Auntie。
we're family. My name is Tim Sharp.
Okay. What do you understand from that video just now?
That in Malaysia, we have a culture of our own of referring to other people, strangers, by terms like machi or auntie, like like for family names. But to other people with different culture, they find it strange.
Yeah. Okay. We do, those are what we call as endearment. Okay, endearment. For example, ya sayang, ya cantik, kakak, adik, abang. Okay. Those are the way we address a person in Malaysia, even for stranger. Okay, this is something that is, I think this is culturally unique to our culture. Okay, to our Malaysian culture. Right, now let's look at another video. Right?
Hi, can you take me to the train station? Ah, great. Oh, crap. No, sir, sorry, I wanted a taxi. I want a taxi.
No problem, sir.
Okay, sorry, thanks. Let me just grab my bag. Thanks. Ow, jeez! Whoa, 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 whoa! No, no! Stop! 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 No! Go! 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 You jump! You must jump that foot! There's no rule! Jump! Jump! You must jump! Jump! Jump!
Karapuri is very clean. Do you have a business card, Mr. Toad?
Yeah, Todd. You just call me Todd. That's fine.
What? Sir, you should not place the hand that has been in your mouth back in the food. And you should not eat with your left hand. In India, we eat with the right hand. Left hand is considered to be
Dirt.
unclean.
Unclean, yeah.
Why? Why?
Okay.
Bro, what is that? Oh. Oh, this. This is our MPI monitor, minutes per incident. This is going to go up on the wall. This is the average time our agent takes to solve the call, you know. What? Oh, that is just a cow. Must have wandered in. 1 minute. Arey, kiski gaye?
1 rupee. 1 rupee, 1 rupee.
Not a good time.
1 rupee.
Tomorrow.
Only 1 rupee.
No, I don't have a rupee.
Please, only 1 rupee.
That's all you can say?
Hungry, only 1 rupee. 1 rupee, 1 rupee.
All right.
1 rupee.
Leave me alone, all right? No, don't touch. No. Oh. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. No toilet paper.
Hello, sir. How may I help you, sir?
Hi, I'd like 2 cheeseburgers.
Oh,
a large
sorry,
fries.
sir. But we don't have cheeseburger here, sir.
What? I thought this was McDonald's.
Oh, sorry, sir. This is McDonald's.
Bro, I'm very sorry. I should have told you this earlier. You should not wear good clothes on this day. Watch out! What the? I'm very sorry, Mr. Toad. You should not have worn good clothes on the day of Holi. Holi, what? Just Holi. Celebration of color, changing of seasons.
Okay. All right. What do you understand from the video just now? Anyone?
Maybe some of the culture maybe have a drastic measures like from what we stay and what we see at India.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like where the environment, the community, and the do and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts. That is the keyword there, the do's and don'ts. What can be done, what cannot be done, what should be done, what shouldn't be done. Okay, good. Very good, Ikra. Anything else? Anything else? What else can you learn from the video just now? Anyone? Hello?
The public transport are different from other country. Like, it's not very structured.
So, what should you do in that context? If you are in that, situation, okay, what are you going to do? If you are in the situation like Mr. Todd just now, what are you going to do?
Embrace the culture.
Embrace the culture. Okay, what else? How to embrace? If you are in Mr. Todd, situation.
Not put higher expectation.
Do not put high expectation. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. What else? What else can you do?
Maybe he should have done research on the culture of the country that he's going to.
Okay, research, early research. Okay, good. What else? What else can you do if you are Mr. Todd in that situation? What should you do to make it better? Anyone? Yes.
Maybe not getting to involve with the bad communities like beggars maybe.
Okay. All right. So from here, thank you. Okay, from here, from the video just now, I think what you can learn from this, if you are in Mr. Todd's situation, the most important thing is to actually try your best to be flexible enough to learn. The most important thing is your ability to learn the culture, the differences, and to embrace the differences. Okay, to embrace the differences. Okay, in a way that you are not trying to insult the different cultures from you are. Okay, all right. Now let's try another video here. This is our last video for today.
A few things I forgot to mention.
Let me make a toast.
He shouldn't have had that second glass when everyone else had had only half an inch just for taste.
Shrimp. My favorite.
He should have taken only a small spoonful of the best dish until everyone had had a helping.
He has good appetite.
He shouldn't have bragged he was a fast learner. But the worst was when Rich criticized my mother's cooking, and he didn't even know what he had done. As is the Chinese cook's custom, my mother always insults her own cooking. but only with the dishes she serves with special pride.
This dish not salty enough. No flavor. It's too bad to eat. But please.
That was our cue to eat some and proclaim it the best she'd ever made.
You know, Linda, all this needs is a little soy sauce.
Okay. Eh.
처녀 단자요? 예.
Okay, what did you learn from that video just now? What did you learn from that video just now?
The man was mostly oblivious to the customs of the family that they're eating with.
Mm-hmm. So it leads to what?
Disrespect.
Yeah, kind of. Okay. When you are unfamiliar with the culture and you try to be in that culture, it is actually very respectful to try your best to learn about it. If you're unsure, maybe you can ask or learn even before you come to the location so that you are not going to be disrespectful of it. So in this case, if you are the person in that video, what are you going to do? What you should be doing?
Read the surrounding first.
Read the surrounding. That is a very good clue. Okay, right. What else? What else can be done in that context?
Maybe if we are the stranger one, we shouldn't take the first step. Right? We look at the people first, maybe.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anybody else want to share? Maybe? Anyone else? Come on. Anything else? If you are in that situation, okay, how can you make it better? What you should be doing to make it better? Hello? Are you guys still there?
Learn from the partners about the culture
Okay, learn
before
from
the dinner.
Okay, learn from the person in the culture before attending to the event. Very good. Okay, all right. So overall, what we can see here is when we talk about intercultural communication, the keyword here is to be able to understand the culture, learn about the culture, and then try to be as flexible as possible. And then the most important thing here is to be able to adapt as soon as possible with the culture so that you can be a better person, as a person, of course, and also as a better professional. All right. Overall, though, that will be all regarding the lesson for today. Okay. I'll be uploading 2 activities on author, activity 4 and activity 5, okay, 4 and 5 on author for you to complete before your class next week, okay. And during the class hour, we will do a revision first, then we will start with the tests. Okay. And do you need to bring your own paper? I think you just need to bring 1 or 2 pieces of answering sheets for you if you need any extra piece of paper. But I will bring my own paper too. Okay? Right? And a stapler. Bring your own stapler. Just in case. Okay. So thank you everyone for being here in this class. I'll try to edit the video later and then I'll share it with you. Okay? All right. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. See you guys next week.
Thank
Do
you,
your
Miss.
homework.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Miss.
Miss.
Have a happy weekend, everyone.
Thank you, Miss.
Bye.